Hello and welcome back to the Be Wild vlog. Duncan, I'm very disappointed in you. I'm very disappointed in you. It was only yesterday that I was talking about how we should be very embarrassed at ourselves. We we are acting quite childish, both of us, but obviously you're a lot older than me. A lot older than me, as you pointed out in your video today. So I would say that it's probably you that should be more embarrassed than me, since you are so much older than me. That being said, I am also still very embarrassed. I think we've done ourselves a great injustice. But I do want to talk about your video that you put out today in response to the video that I put out yesterday, because that's what we do. We just go back and forth, back and forth. Your video implies that I told a lie to try to convince people that when I got in trouble with the police, I was 15 years old. This is quite interesting because, in my opinion, this shows everything that I think about your investigative practices that is wrong. Everything that I think that you do wrong can be summed up by using this example. I didn't say that I was 15 at all, and you know that full well, which means that you're a liar. But what I said was, and I'm addressing people in general, not Duncan, but so for the people that are watching this absolute shit show of a back and forth, what I said was that my conviction, that is long spent, happened nearly 20 years ago. Nearly 20 years ago, I said. That's a very vague comment. Nearly 20 years ago, you know, would 19 years count? Would 18 years count? Would 17 years count as nearly 20 years ago? I will admit, I've never been very good at maths. But I do know this. I was 19 when it happened. I was on bail for almost another 2 years whilst they put together the trial and this, that, the other. I don't know how all that stuff works behind the scenes, but all I know is that I was on bail for over a year and a half. But I was 19 when it happened. 19. So if I said it was 20 years ago, me being 35 now, that would make me 15. But if I said it was nearly 20 years ago, and it happened when I was 19, I'm 4 years off. And I think that that's a minor discrepancy based off of my human error and lack of care for how long it was ago. It's well in my past. If I'd have said, God, it's nearly 30 years ago now, then that would go to show that maybe that's just how it feels to me. And this is where I see mistakes in Duncan. I see somebody that isn't very empathetic. And okay, to be a detective, that's not a skill that you really need to have, but you do need to be able to see things for what they are and put yourself in other people's shoes. I didn't tell a lie to try to convince people that I was 15. I made a slight numerical error that confused my past by 4 years. You know, I'm sure you, being as old as you are, Duncan, can understand that your memories of what happened 15 years ago could meld into your memories of what happened 20 years ago. That is just a very, very lame attempt at discrediting my word. I've got no problem with what you said this morning. I think it just goes to show how immature and childish you are, and I think it goes to show that you're clutching at straws and desperately trying to pin shit to a wall, as I've said from the beginning. You've come with no decent evidence. You've got no idea what you're talking about. You've got a different person to blame every day. Even Warren Slater has posted your picture and implying that he thinks that you're a gross man for the way that you've attacked Chris Tenerife and others. This isn't woe is me. I couldn't care less. I got thick skin. I'm a rhinoceros. I think you proved everybody's point. I think you proved everyone's point. You don't understand people. You don't know what you're doing here, and you say that you're an amateur, you're a psychologist or whatever. I think that you need to go back to school, mate, because you're not doing a very good job of it. You know, I've only ever really wanted to help to help people to help people in finding answers for the case. I've not been interested in all this back and forth, but I happen to have dragged myself perhaps right into the thick of it. And I just wanted to stop now. I really do. I wanted to stop. I think it's embarrassing, and I think it's shameful on all parts. I am very embarrassed for the part that I'm playing in it. Um, Yesterday in my video, I did try to say, like, a little call for rest, a little ceasefire. Let's put down the guns and let's get back to why we all were supposed to be here, and that is to actually find some answers about what happened to Jay Slater. And I really, really stand by that. Um, in fact, you know what, Duncan, I'm done with you. I'm not gonna respond to you anymore. I don't need to be here pulling myself through mud and answering back to your little queries and questions. And neither do you need to do that for mine. I don't care if you know Mark Williams Thomas, and I don't care if you've got a wife. It's nothing to do with this case. And to be honest, you're just not that interested in a man to be so bothered about what you do and don't tell us. Right, look, I'm going to log out. Sorry that I'm here doing it again. I am embarrassed. I hope you know that. And this is not what my vlog was ever meant to be about, but here we are. Anyway, look, enjoy your weekend, guys. Loves you. Ta-da!